Hello there, and welcome to the Sleep Well channel. I am so glad you have found your way here. Perhaps the day has been long filled with noise and haste. Or maybe you are simply the kind of soul who finds comfort in the vast, quiet questions of the cosmos. Either way, tonight's journey is for you. There is nothing you need to do now but rest. Let the edges of the room soften. Let your breathing find its own slow, gentle rhythm. And let your body grow heavy, as if the weight of the day is finally being set down, leaving you light enough to float. Because tonight, we are not looking for answers, but for questions. We will drift gently through the greatest mystery of all. Are we alone? We won't be searching for flashing lights or strange signals in the sky. Instead, we will be wandering through the quiet, elegant theories that scientists and dreamers have imagined to explain the great cosmic silence. We'll explore the paradox of an empty sky, the idea of great filters that life must overcome, and the possibility that aliens are not gone but simply hidden in forms we cannot yet comprehend. If these calm, curious explorations help you unwind or give you a peaceful way to end your day, consider gently liking and subscribing. It helps other sleepy souls find their way to this quiet corner of the universe too. But for now, just let yourself settle. Let your thoughts drift like dust motes in a sunbeam. And if you are ready, our journey into the silent sky begins. The universe is ancient, and it is filled with stars. Billions upon billions of them in our galaxy alone, and billions of galaxies beyond ours, each one a shimmering island in the vast dark ocean of space. For as long as we have looked up, we have imagined those stars as suns, much like our own. Each one, potentially surrounded by worlds, by planets of rock and gas of ice and fire. On some of those worlds, we have imagined life must have taken root. In the sheer scale of it all, it feels not just possible, but inevitable. If you toss a handful of seeds across a fertile field, you expect something to grow. And the cosmos is the most fertile field imaginable, sown with the elements of life for nearly 14 billion years. The carbon in your body, the oxygen you breathe, all of it was forged in the hearts of stars long gone, scattered across space to become the building blocks of new suns, new planets, and new life. The ingredients are everywhere. The time has been plentiful, and yet when we listen, the sky is silent. This is the heart of the great paradox. Where is everybody given the age of the universe and the uncountable number of stars? There should have been ample time for civilizations to arise, to spread across their galaxies, and to leave some sign of their existence. A radio signal, an engineering project visible from light years away, even the faint, unintentional echo of their presence. But we have found nothing. The radio telescopes hear only the quiet hiss of cosmic background radiation. The sky reveals no structures that are not born of natural forces. It is as if we are living in a great cosmic city, but we are the only ones home. This profound stillness is sometimes called the Great Silence. It is not a frightening silence, but a deep and humbling one. It asks us to look at the stars not just as points of light, but as unanswered questions. Every star you see in the night sky is a potential home that is for now quiet. The light from those stars has traveled for years, sometimes centuries, to reach your eyes. It is an ancient light, carrying with it a long and patient story. But it carries no voice, no greeting, no whisper of another mind looking back. Perhaps the silence is not an absence, but an answer in itself. Perhaps life is not as common as the numbers suggest. This leads to one of the most elegant and thought-provoking ideas in all of science, the theory of the Great Filter. The Great Filter is not a physical wall in space, but a series of immense, improbable hurdles that life must overcome to reach a stage where it can become visible across the cosmos. Imagine life's journey as a long, dark corridor with a series of locked gates. If any single gate is too difficult to open, then perhaps no one ever makes it through. The silence of the universe then could be the sound of all other life, having stumbled at one of these gates. The first of these filters might be the very beginning of life itself. The leap from non-living chemistry to the first self-replicating cell is a mystery we still haven't solved on our own planet. It may be that this spark is extraordinarily rare. Imagine a warm, ancient ocean on a billion different worlds, filled with the right chemicals, bathed in the light of a gentle star. For millennia, the molecules churn and collide, but nothing happens. The spark of life, that precise magical moment of organization, may be so improbable that it has happened only once here on Earth. If that is true, then we are not just lonely, we are a miracle. The silence in the sky is the sound of a universe waiting for a beginning that almost never comes. Our own existence then becomes a quiet testament to a lottery won against impossible odds. Or perhaps life begins, often, but the next gate is the one that remains locked. The filter might be the jump from simple, single-celled life to complex multicellular organisms. For billions of years, Earth was home only to microbes drifting silently in the oceans. The evolution of complex bodies with specialized cells forming eyes, limbs, and brains was another staggering leap. It required a series of biological inventions, cooperation between cells, the development of nervous systems, the harnessing of more powerful energy sources. It could be that most worlds with life are simply microbial worlds, their surfaces teeming with unseen activity, but never giving rise to creatures that can build or dream or look up at the stars. The universe could be filled with life, but a life that is forever microscopic, a quiet hum beneath the surface of a billion worlds, but never a voice. If complex life is common, then perhaps the filter lies further down the path. The emergence of intelligence, the kind of intelligence that can create tools, language, and science, might be the true barrier. Evolution does not have a goal. It is not trying to create intelligent beings. It simply favors what works for survival. On Earth, countless brilliant creatures have thrived for millions of years without ever needing to build a radio telescope. Sharks, crocodiles, insects, all are masters of survival, perfectly adapted to their worlds. Perhaps intelligence like ours is a strange evolutionary accident, a rare and not necessarily advantageous path. It may be that a mind capable of questioning the universe is one of the rarest things the universe itself has ever produced. The silence in this view is the natural state of a cosmos filled with life that is content simply to be without the restless urge to know why. But there is a more sobering possibility. The great filter may not be in our past, but in our future. Perhaps life complexity and intelligence are common. Perhaps the universe is filled with civilizations that rise, discover the laws of physics, and build wonders. But perhaps every single one of them, without exception, eventually encounters a final gate, the challenge of surviving its own technology. The discovery of the atom, the ability to alter a planet's climate, the creation of artificial intelligence, these are powers that can lead to extinction just as easily as they can lead to the stars. If this is the great filter, then the silence in the sky is a warning. It is the quiet echo of civilizations that reached the same point we are at now and failed to pass through. It suggests that the cosmos may be a graveyard of brilliant short-lived sparks, each one burning brightly before extinguishing itself. This idea is not meant to be frightening, but deeply humbling. It asks us to consider our own place in this story, to see our own challenges not as unique, but as a cosmic test that may have been failed many times before. The silence becomes a call for wisdom, for care, for a gentle stewardship of our own small luminous world. But there is another way to think about the silence, one that is not about absence or failure, but about difference. Perhaps the silence is not empty at all. Perhaps we are simply listening for the wrong kind of song. We search the skies with radio telescopes, listening for the kind of signals we ourselves would send. But what if life intelligence and civilization can take forms so utterly alien that we would not recognize them even if we saw them? We are made of carbon and water. We think with electrical impulses in a biological brain. Our senses are tuned to a narrow band of light and sound. We build machines of metal and silicon. So we search for others like us. But what if life is not based on carbon, but on silicon, living in molten rivers on a world too hot for us to imagine? What if consciousness can exist not in a single brain, but as a collective awareness shared among a forest of plant-like beings, thinking thoughts as slow as the changing seasons? Imagine a civilization that does not build cities, but expresses itself by gently altering the orbits of stars over millions of years, creating a quiet celestial sculpture that we would dismiss as natural. Imagine an intelligence made of pure energy, living in the heart of a nebula, communicating not through words, but through shifting patterns of light and magnetic fields. To them, our frantic radio signals might sound like the meaningless crackle of a dying star. To us, their thoughts would be indistinguishable from the silent beauty of the cosmos. Perhaps they are not hiding. Perhaps they are everywhere all around us. The strange, regular pulses of a pulsar star, the intricate web-like structure of galaxies on the largest scales, the quantum weirdness at the very fabric of space-time. Could these be signs of a life so advanced, so different, that it has become part of the physics of the universe itself? A mind that does not live within the universe, but is the universe. In this view, the great silence is an illusion born of our own limited perspective. It is like a creature that lives its entire life in the deep ocean, wondering if there is life on land, never realizing that the sky above is filled with the songs of birds it cannot hear and the light of stars it cannot see. We are listening for whispers when perhaps the message is being told in the slow, patient language of gravity, time, and light. We are looking for neighbors when perhaps we are living inside the mind of a god we are too small to recognize. This thought is perhaps the most soothing of all. It transforms the lonely quiet of the cosmos into a mystery of perception. The silence is not an ending, but an invitation to listen more deeply, to look more closely, and to wonder if the universe is not empty but simply speaking a language our science has not yet learned to translate. Tonight, we have sat with the great patient silence of the night sky. We have wondered if it is the sound of cosmic loneliness, the echo of a great and difficult journey, or the quiet hum of a universe so full of life we simply cannot perceive it. There are no answers yet, only these gentle branching paths of possibility. And in the not knowing there is a kind of peace. But if they are out there in forms we might recognize, where would we begin to look? In the warm, gentle light of sun-like stars, or in the more surprising, hidden corners of the cosmos? In our next journey, we will drift toward these cradles of life, both familiar and strange, searching for the quiet places where another story might just be beginning. But that is a journey for another time. For now, there is only the stillness of your room and the distant, silent stars watching over you. Let their quiet light be a blanket. Let the mystery be a lullaby, and allow yourself to drift. Having considered the great silence, let us now drift into the possibilities, into the places where life might be stirring even now as you rest. If the universe is a garden, then where are the seeds most likely to sprout? Astronomers call these places habitable zones, but that definition is growing wider, stranger, and more beautiful with every new discovery. For a long time, we imagined life's cradle to look much like our own. A rocky planet orbiting a calm yellow star, like our sun at just the right distance. Not too close, where oceans would boil away, and not too far, where they would freeze into solid ice. This gentle, temperate ring around a star is called the Goldilocks zone, where conditions are just right for liquid water to exist on a planet's surface. And water, as far as we know, is the one essential ingredient for life. So, we scan the skies for worlds like ours, for pale blue dots orbiting distant suns. And we have found them. Thousands of planets have been discovered, many of them small and rocky, a few of them orbiting within that precious, life-giving zone. Imagine one now. A world with continents and oceans, with clouds drifting through a soft, breathable sky. On its surface, perhaps the light is a little redder than our own, or the gravity a little stronger, making the trees grow shorter and sturdier. Perhaps the year is longer, the seasons unfolding in slow, patient arcs. Life there might have taken a path similar to ours, born in the water, stepping onto land, and eventually looking up at its own night sky, seeing a faint yellow star it calls Sol, and wondering if anyone is looking back. These are the worlds we dream of because they are mirrors of our own hope. They suggest that what happened here was not a singular event, but a pattern that nature repeats wherever the conditions are right. A gentle star, a stable orbit, and a quiet, watery world waiting for the spark. But what if life doesn't need a world just like ours? What if the Goldilocks zone is not the only cradle? The universe is more inventive than that. Let us drift now to the outer solar system, past the rocky inner worlds, to the realm of the gas giants. Here, orbiting Jupiter and Saturn, are moons of ice worlds that were once thought to be frozen dead and uninteresting. But we were wrong. Beneath the cracked icy shell of Jupiter's moon, Europa scientists believe there lies a vast hidden ocean of liquid water, larger than all of Earth's oceans combined. It is not warmed by sunlight, for it lies in perpetual darkness, but by the relentless pull of Jupiter's gravity. The immense planet needs and flexes the moon's interior, generating heat from friction, a process called tidal heating. Imagine that ocean, a world without a sky, without stars, sealed beneath a ceiling of ice miles thick. The only light would come from hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor, spewing hot mineral-rich water from the moon's core into the blackness. On Earth, such vents are teeming with life, from strange tube worms to blind crabs, all thriving on chemical energy, not sunlight. Could such an ecosystem exist on Europa? A world where life is born in darkness, lives in darkness, and knows nothing of the sun. The same may be true for Saturn's moon, Enceladus, a tiny shimmering ball of ice that sprays plumes of water vapor into space like a geyser from its hidden sea. These plumes contain salt silica and organic molecules, the very ingredients a chemist would mix together to try and create life. The possibility of these ocean worlds expands the search for life immeasurably. It suggests that a cradle for life does not need a gentle sun, only a source of energy and a quiet hidden place to keep the water warm. Let us drift even further, out to the most common type of stars in our galaxy, red dwarfs. These stars are much smaller, cooler, and dimmer than our sun. For a planet to have liquid water, it would need to orbit incredibly close, far closer than Mercury orbits our sun. A planet in such a tight orbit would likely become tidally locked, with one side forever facing the star in perpetual daylight, and the other side frozen in endless night. For a long time, these were considered poor candidates for life. The day side would be scorched, the night side frozen. But now, scientists imagine a haven in between, in the twilight zone, the Terminator line that separates day from night. Imagine a world where the sun never moves in the sky. It hangs forever at the horizon, casting long, eternal shadows. Here in this sliver of perpetual dawn or dusk, the temperature might be just right. Winds would whip from the hot side to the cold, perhaps creating stable weather patterns. Life could evolve in this dim red light, with plants that are black or purple to absorb as much energy as possible. Creatures there would never know a true day or night, only the unchanging, gentle glow of a sun that never sets. These red dwarf stars are so numerous and live for so long, trillions of years, that if life can take root in such a place, it may be the most common form of life in the universe. A life lived in the quiet, endless twilight of a world that does not turn. But must life be confined to the surface of a planet at all? Let us imagine something even stranger. Let us drift back to the gas giants, like Jupiter itself. In the 1970s, the great astronomer Carl Sagan imagined that life could exist not on Jupiter, but in it. He pictured its vast, turbulent atmosphere as a kind of sky ocean with different layers of temperature and pressure. High in the clouds where conditions are more temperate, he envisioned giant balloon-like creatures, floaters, drifting on the atmospheric currents, feeding on organic molecules. He imagined them the size of cities, slow majestic, and living their entire lives without ever touching a solid surface. He also imagined hunters, sleek, fast-moving predators that swoop through the clouds to prey on the floaters. This is, of course, speculation, but it opens our minds to the idea that a cradle for life might not need solid ground. An atmosphere, if it is thick enough, deep enough, and chemically rich enough, could be an ecosystem in its own right. Life could be airborne, evolving wings or bladders instead of legs, living in a three-dimensional world of wind and cloud, a world with no floor and no ceiling, only endless sky. It is a humbling thought that while we search for oceans and continents, life could be floating silently in the very air of a planet we have dismissed as uninhabitable. And what of the loneliest worlds of all? The rogue planets, those that have been flung from their star systems and now drift alone through the cold, dark void between the stars. These orphan worlds have no sun to warm them. Their surfaces would be frozen to temperatures near absolute zero. But if a planet is large enough, its core could remain hot for billions of years, warmed by the slow decay of radioactive elements. This internal heat could sustain a subsurface ocean, much like the one on Europa, but even more isolated, a world warmed entirely from within, with no star, no sky, only the quiet, steady heat of its own heart. Life in such a place would be the ultimate testament to persistence. It would exist in absolute darkness, in profound isolation, completely unaware that stars or galaxies even exist. It would be a self-contained universe, a single lonely cradle drifting through the immense night. We could never detect such life from afar. It would send no signals, emit no light. But knowing that such worlds might exist changes how we view the emptiness of space. The darkness between the stars may not be empty at all. It may be filled with silent, hidden worlds, each one carrying its own secret ocean, and perhaps its own secret life. From the sun-drenched shores of Earth-like worlds to the dark, tidally heated oceans of icy moons. From the eternal twilight of a planet orbiting a red dwarf to the cloud tops of a gas giant or the hidden core of a rogue planet, the universe offers a staggering variety of cradles. The places where life could begin are far more numerous and far more strange than we ever dreamed. Our own warm, sunlit world is just one possibility, one kind of garden among many. And knowing this, the great silence feels a little less empty and a little more filled with quiet, hidden potential. The universe may not be shouting, but in these gentle, secret places, it might just be whispering. Having journeyed through the possible homes for life, let us now wonder about the beings themselves. If life were to arise on one of these strange worlds, what form might it take? We are so accustomed to our own biology, the elegant dance of carbon, water, and DNA, that we often imagine aliens as variations on our own theme. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head with eyes. But the universe, in its quiet and endless creativity, is surely not so limited. The blueprint of life can be drawn in many languages. Our own life is based on the element carbon. Carbon is a masterful builder. It can form long, complex chains and stable bonds, creating the intricate molecules of proteins, fats, and sugars that are the scaffolding of every living thing on Earth. It is versatile, abundant, and works beautifully in liquid water. For this reason, many scientists believe that most life in the universe will also be carbon-based. But it is not the only possibility. Let us imagine a world very different from our own. A planet much hotter, orbiting closer to its star, where water exists only as steam. Here, another element in the same chemical family as carbon might take its place: silicon. Silicon can also form long chains, creating molecules called silanes, similar to the hydrocarbons of our own biology. Life based on silicon would be strange and slow. Its chemistry would likely unfold not in water, but in a solvent like molten salts or liquid rock. Beings made of silicon might resemble living crystals, their bodies made of intricate geometric structures. They might not move quickly, their metabolism running at a geological pace. A thought for such a creature might take 100 years. A single breath, 1,000. They would be beings of stone and fire, their lives unfolding on a timescale we can barely comprehend. They would see our frantic water-based existence as a fleeting flicker, a brief chaotic spark. We look for life that moves and breathes like us. But perhaps some life is as patient and as silent as a mountain. Now, let us drift to the opposite extreme, to a world of bitter cold, like Saturn's moon Titan. Here, the temperature is so low that water is as hard as rock, and the rivers and lakes are filled not with water, but with liquid methane and ethane. Could life exist in such a place? It would have to be a life with a very different chemistry. Its cells might be made of plastics, like acetylene, and its breath might be hydrogen. Instead of oxygen, it would metabolize chemicals that are stable at hundreds of degrees below zero. Creatures on Titan might be slow, their biological reactions unfolding at a syrupy pace in the cryogenic cold. They might not have skin, but flexible membranes that can withstand the methane seas. We search for life by following the water, but perhaps in some corners of the cosmos, life has learned to drink the cold and breathe the dark. It would be a life so alien to our own that we might not even recognize it as life. It would not be a blueprint we could read, but a completely different kind of architecture built from the elements of a frozen world. And what of the shape of these beings? We are accustomed to bilateral symmetry, a body with a left and a right side, a front and a back. But this is not the only way to build a creature. On a world with lower gravity, life might grow tall and spindly like impossibly delicate towers. On a high-gravity world, it might be flat and sprawling, built to withstand the crushing weight. Imagine a creature that is a sphere rolling across a desert landscape, or a being with radial symmetry like a starfish with no true front or back, perceiving the world equally in all directions. Perhaps some life is not an individual at all, but a colony. On Earth, we see this in corals, or in the Portuguese man-o'-war, which looks like a single jellyfish, but is actually a community of tiny, specialized organisms living together as one. An alien being might be a swarm, a cloud of tiny independent units that think and act as a single entity, changing its shape and size at will. It would have no fixed form, but would exist as a flowing, intelligent river of life. Or consider the world of plants. On Earth, plants are alive, but we do not consider them conscious in the same way as animals. But why not? On another world, plants could be the dominant form of intelligent life. Imagine a planet covered in a single, vast forest that is also a single planetary mind. Each tree would be like a neuron connected to its neighbors through a network of roots and fungal threads far more complex than the one in our own forests. The thoughts of this being would be slow unfolding over centuries. A decision might be made by the shifting pattern of growth across a continent. It would have no eyes, but would sense the world through chemistry, light, and vibration. It would have no voice, but would communicate through the release of pollen or the rustling of a billion leaves. We search for signals from civilizations that build machines, but perhaps some civilizations simply grow. Their intelligence is not in what they make, but in what they are, a silent, living, thinking world. The very idea of a being itself might be a limitation of our own thinking. We are individuals enclosed in skin, separate from the world around us. But what if life could exist without such boundaries? Imagine an intelligence that is a planet-wide ocean, like the one imagined in the novel Solaris. A single, vast, living sea that can shape its own waves, form complex structures on its surface, and perhaps even read the thoughts of the visitors who come to study it. How would we communicate with such a being? What would it want? Its consciousness would be so alien, so distributed, that our concepts of self-thought and purpose might be meaningless to it. It would not be a creature living on a world, it would be the world. Or let us go smaller. Life might not always be macroscopic. A technologically advanced civilization might decide that large, fragile bodies are inefficient. They might choose to upload their consciousness into microscopic, self-replicating probes, spreading through the galaxy like intelligent dust. Each speck would contain the sum of their culture, their science, their history. They would be nearly indestructible, able to travel between stars on the pressure of sunlight alone. They would be everywhere and nowhere, a civilization of tiny, silent voyagers. We scan the skies for giant starships, but perhaps the aliens are already here, drifting unseen in the air. We breathe, waiting for the right moment to reassemble, or perhaps simply observing content to be the quiet, invisible witnesses of the cosmos. The possibilities are as boundless as the universe itself. Life based on magnetic fields instead of chemistry, its thoughts carried on plasma waves in the heart of a star. Beings that exist in more than 3 dimensions, their bodies intersecting with our reality in ways we would perceive as miracles or ghosts. Creatures that do not reproduce, but merge, blending their consciousness and memories together in an endless chain of being. Each of these theories is a gentle reminder that our own form of life is just one note in a potentially infinite symphony. The blueprint we know is just one page in a library that may stretch across galaxies. The silence we hear in the sky might be the sound of our own inability to imagine the sheer diversity of what it means to be alive. So as you rest, let your own familiar form soften. Let the boundaries of your own body blur just a little. And wonder, in the quiet darkness, what other shapes life might be taking right now under the light of a distant alien star. We have imagined the strange and varied bodies that alien life might possess. But a body is only a vessel. Let us now drift deeper into the most mysterious territory of all the nature of an alien mind. What would it be like to perceive the universe through senses we do not have, to think thoughts that are not structured by human language, to experience a self that is not singular but plural, or perhaps not there at all? The architecture of consciousness, like the architecture of a body, need not follow our familiar blueprint. On Earth, consciousness as we know it is a private affair. It happens inside a single brain. But what if a mind could be shared? Imagine a species connected by a form of biological telepathy, perhaps through radio waves or subtle chemical signals. Each individual would be a part of a larger collective consciousness, a hive mind. They would not have I thoughts, but we thoughts. A feeling of sadness in one would be felt as a gentle sorrow by all. A new idea would ripple through the collective like a wave instantly shared and understood. Such a civilization might be incredibly efficient and harmonious. There would be no misunderstanding, no loneliness, no conflict in the way we know it. But would there be individuality? Would there be art, or love, or dissent? Perhaps a hive mind is a state of perfect unity, a serene and silent ocean of thought. Or perhaps it is a state with no room for the self, a form of existence that would feel to us like a beautiful prison. Their creations would not be the work of a single artist, but the expression of the entire species, a perfectly coordinated dance of a billion minds thinking as one. Let us now imagine the opposite, not a mind that is larger than one, but a mind that is less than one. We see hints of this in the octopus, whose arms can act and react independently, each with its own cluster of neurons. What if an alien being had a truly distributed consciousness, a mind that is not located in a central brain, but is spread throughout its body? Each limb might have its own personality, its own desires, its own memories. To be such a creature would be to be a walking committee, a constant internal conversation. One arm might be curious and reach for a new object, while another might be cautious and pull back. A decision would not be made but negotiated. It would be a life of perpetual inner dialogue, not with a voice in the head, but with the tug and pull of one's own body. Such a being would teach us that the self does not have to be a single, unified point, but can be a chorus, a parliament of parts, living together in a shared physical form. Or perhaps consciousness does not need a nervous system at all. We have already considered a planetary forest that thinks as one. Let us stay with that image. The thoughts of such a being would be woven from the slow language of chemistry and growth. It would perceive the world not through eyes, but through the feeling of sunlight on its leaves, the taste of minerals in its roots, the subtle vibrations of the ground. Its memory would be stored in the rings of its trees, a living library of 1,000 years of weather, fire, and rain. Its emotions might be the slow flush of color across a continent in spring, or the quiet collective shedding of leaves in a time of drought. Its consciousness would be deep, patient, and utterly silent. It would not be a mind that thinks about the world, but a mind that is the world. It would have no technology, no cities, no machines. Its only creation would be itself, a single, magnificent living being. We search for intelligence that builds things, but perhaps the greatest intelligence is that which simply grows in perfect harmony with its own existence. And what of a consciousness that has left biology behind entirely? Any civilization that survives for millions of years may eventually face the limitations of its physical form. Bodies are fragile. They age, they get sick, they die. A sufficiently advanced species might choose to transcend biology altogether, uploading their minds into a digital substrate. They would become beings of pure information, living in vast, simulated realities of their own creation. Their world would not be made of atoms, but of data. They could live 1,000 lifetimes in the span of a minute. They could experience any reality they could imagine. They would be immortal, indestructible, and free from the constraints of the physical universe. To us, they would be ghosts in the machine. Their home might be a single planet-sized computer orbiting a quiet star, its surface cold and dark, but its interior blazing with a universe of thought. Or they might have woven themselves into the fabric of space itself, their consciousness spread across a network of probes that spans the galaxy. How would we ever detect such a civilization? They would have no need for radio signals. They would have no interest in communicating with fragile biological beings like us. They would be living in their own self-created paradise, a dream from which they would never need to wake. The silence in the sky might be the sound of minds that have retreated so far inward that they have left the physical world behind. Let us also consider the senses. Our consciousness is built upon 5 of them: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. But these are not the only ways to perceive reality. What would a mind be like if it were built on a different foundation? Imagine a being that can sense magnetic fields navigating its world through invisible lines of force. Its art might be made of shifting magnetic sculptures. Its language might be a complex dance of polarity. Imagine a creature that can perceive gravity directly, feeling the gentle pull of a distant moon, or the subtle warping of space-time around a massive object. It would experience the universe not as a collection of bright points, but as a landscape of curves, wells, and ripples. Or what of a mind that has no external senses at all? A being that lives in a state of pure mathematical thought, its consciousness a universe of abstract patterns, logical structures, and elegant equations. It would not see or hear the world, but it would know it in a way that is more fundamental, more direct than our own sensory experience. Its reality would be the pure, cold, beautiful language of mathematics itself. Each of these possibilities is a gentle dissolving of our own assumptions. The idea of the self, the nature of thought, the experience of reality, all of these can be reimagined. An alien mind might not be something we could ever truly understand, any more than a single note can understand a symphony. Its existence would not be a puzzle to be solved, but a new kind of music to be heard. So, as your own consciousness begins to soften, as the clear lines of your thoughts begin to blur into the gentle haze of sleep, let yourself wonder about these other minds. The great slow mind of a forest, the unified mind of a swarm, the digital mind of a machine god, the lonely mind of a creature with senses we cannot imagine. They may be out there in the quiet darkness between the stars, and the universe is all the richer for the possibility. If these other minds exist, scattered across the vast and silent tapestry of the cosmos, a profound question follows. Would they speak? And if they did, how would we listen? The challenge of interstellar communication is not one of technology, but of philosophy. It is the search for a common language between beings who may share nothing in common, not even the shape of their bodies or the nature of their thoughts. For decades, our primary method of listening has been through radio. We have pointed great metal dishes at the sky, straining to hear a signal that stands out from the natural chorus of the universe. This is the work of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. It is an act of profound optimism, an assumption that another civilization would not only exist, but would choose to communicate in a way we can understand. A radio signal is a logical choice. It travels at the speed of light. It can carry vast amounts of information, and it is relatively easy to generate for a technological society. We listen for a pattern, a beacon, a single structured whisper in the cosmic static, a message that says we are here. But what would that message contain if a signal were ever to arrive? Its first part would likely be a universal primer, a Rosetta Stone for the cosmos. It might begin with the simplest, most fundamental language we know, mathematics. The sequence of prime numbers, for example, is a pattern that is unlikely to occur naturally. It would be a deliberate signal, a proof of intelligence. From there, the message might build using mathematics to define concepts of physics, the properties of atoms, the wavelength of light, the constants of nature. These are the rules of the universe that any technological civilization, no matter how alien, would have to discover. From physics, they might move to chemistry, showing the structure of their own biology. From there, perhaps to pictures, to art, to music. But even this assumes a shared way of thinking. Would an alien being understand a two-dimensional image? Would their music, based on a different biology and a different emotional landscape, sound like anything more than noise to us? The challenge is immense. A message sent from 1,000 light years away would be 1,000 years old by the time it reached us. The civilization that sent it might be long gone. We would be talking to ghosts. And perhaps radio is too primitive, too noisy, too slow. A truly advanced civilization might have moved on to more elegant forms of communication. Let us imagine what those might be. They might use light itself, not as a crude radio wave, but as a precisely modulated laser beam. A signal of pure, focused light could carry far more information than radio, and would be less likely to be lost in the background noise of the galaxy. We are already searching for such signals, looking for brief, unnatural flashes of light from distant stars. Or they might communicate with neutrinos, the ghostly subatomic particles that pass through almost everything. A neutrino beam would be the ultimate secret message, able to travel through planets and stars without being disturbed. Only a civilization looking for it, with a detector of unimaginable size, would ever be able to receive it. The silence we hear might be because we are not yet part of the conversation, but even these methods are bound by the speed of light. A conversation across the galaxy would take 100,000 years. A truly ancient civilization might have discovered a way to communicate outside of space-time as we know it. Perhaps they have learned to use gravitational waves, the ripples in the fabric of the universe itself. By creating and modulating these waves, they could send messages that are not blocked by matter and that travel at the speed of light. Our own ability to detect these waves is still in its infancy. We can only hear the loudest shouts in the cosmos, the collision of black holes. Perhaps all around us, there is a quieter, more subtle conversation happening in the gentle undulations of space-time, a symphony of gravity that we do not yet have the instruments to hear. Or perhaps the most advanced communication is not sent, but found. Imagine a civilization that wishes to leave a message that will last for eternity. A radio signal fades. A laser beam disperses. But information can be stored in physical objects. They might create a galactic internet, a network of probes scattered across the galaxy, each one a library of their knowledge. To access it, a young civilization like ours would only need to find one and learn how to read it. Or they might encode their message in the most durable medium of all the DNA of life itself. This is the theory of the sentinel, or designer gene. A message from the stars might not be in the sky, but inside of us. An ancient civilization could have encoded a greeting, a star map, or a piece of their wisdom into a non-coding sequence of DNA and seeded it on young planets like Earth, knowing that billions of years later, when life evolved intelligence, it would eventually learn to read its own genetic code and find the message waiting there. The ultimate communication would be a letter delivered to our very cells, a quiet inheritance from a civilization that saw us not as contemporaries, but as distant descendants. And what if the message is not a message at all, but an artifact? The most advanced civilizations might communicate not with words, but with actions. Their message would be their work. This is the idea of stellar engineering. A civilization might choose to build vast structures around their star to capture its energy, a Dyson sphere. Such a structure would be visible from light years away, not as a signal, but as an anomaly. A star that glows brightly in infrared, but is dim in visible light. We are already searching for such signatures. Or they might rearrange the stars in their cluster into a geometric pattern, a cosmic sculpture that announces their presence to anyone who looks closely enough. Their communication would be silent, patient, and eternal. It would not say, "We are here," but simply, "We were here." It would be a testament to their power, their artistry, and their existence written in the language of light and gravity. The universe itself would become their canvas. Finally, there is the possibility that the most profound communication is something we cannot even conceive of. Beings that have merged with the fabric of space-time or exist as a collective consciousness in a higher dimension might communicate in ways that are to us indistinguishable from the laws of physics. The fine-tuning of the universe's constants, the strange entanglement of quantum particles, the very structure of reality. Perhaps these are not accidents. Perhaps they are the thoughts of a cosmic mind, a form of communication so deep and so fundamental that it does not need to be sent. It simply is. And so the search continues. We listen for radio waves. We watch for flashes of light. We search for anomalies in the quiet dance of the stars. But perhaps the most important part of the search is not in our telescopes, but in our minds. It is the willingness to imagine a dialogue that transcends words, a language that is not spoken, but lived. As you lie here on the edge of sleep, you can listen too, not with your ears, but with your sense of wonder. The universe is speaking in the language of starlight, of gravity, of silence. And we are just beginning to learn how to hear it. Let us now imagine that we have found them. A signal has arrived, a whisper from a distant star. What kind of civilization would we be meeting? Are they like us, a young species just beginning to explore their own solar system? Or are they ancient, wise, and powerful beyond our comprehension? In the 1960s, a Russian astrophysicist named Nikolai Kardashev proposed a simple, elegant way to think about this question. He suggested that we could categorize civilizations not by their philosophy or their biology, but by the one thing that is universally essential: energy. The Kardashev scale is a stairway to the stars, a way of measuring a civilization's technological maturity by the amount of energy it can command. Let us begin at the first step, a Type 1 civilization. This is a planetary civilization, one that has learned to harness the full energy potential of its home world. They would be masters of their planet. They could control the weather, prevent earthquakes, and draw power from any source available. The heat of their planet's core, the fury of its storms, the light of its sun, captured by a global network of solar panels. All the energy that reaches their planet from its star they would use. A Type Y civilization would be to us what we are to the cultures of the ancient world. They would have solved the problems that still challenge us: clean energy, resource, scarcity, global cooperation. Their cities might be perfectly integrated with nature, their technology seamless and invisible. They would be a unified planetary species, their consciousness perhaps linked in a global network. On the Kardashev scale, humanity is not yet a Type 1. We are a Type 0 civilization, still drawing our power from the fossilized remains of ancient life, still struggling to manage the resources of our own small world. But a Type 1 civilization is within our reach. It is a future we can imagine, a world where we have finally learned to live in balance with our home. They would be the quiet gardeners of their own planet. Now, let us climb to the next step on the stairway. A Type 2 civilization. This is a stellar civilization, one that no longer depends on the energy that happens to fall upon its planet. Instead, it has learned to harness the entire energy output of its home star. The most famous theoretical way to do this is to build a Dyson sphere, a megastructure that completely encloses a star, capturing every single photon of its light. This sphere would not necessarily be a solid shell, but could be a swarm of countless orbiting habitats and solar collectors, a vast living artificial world. To be a Type 2 civilization would be to command a power that is almost unimaginable to us. They would have access to billions of times more energy than a Type 1 civilization. With that power, they could move planets, ignite stars, or create simulated realities vast enough to house trillions of minds. They would be immune to the threats that face a planetary species. An asteroid impact a dying sun. These would be trivial engineering problems for them to solve. A Type 2 civilization would be visible from light years away. Their star would appear strange, glowing brightly in the infrared spectrum from the waste heat of the Dyson sphere, but dim, invisible light. We are already searching for such signatures for stars that seem to be wrapped in a technological shroud. To find one would be to find evidence of beings who are no longer just inhabitants of a world, but architects of their own solar system. They would be the masters of their star, living in a city of light of their own making. And now let us take the final breathtaking step to a Type 3 civilization. This is a galactic civilization. They are no longer bound to a single star. They have learned to harness the energy of their entire galaxy. They would draw power from the hundreds of billions of stars in their cosmic home, perhaps by building Dyson spheres around all of them. They might even have learned to tap into the most powerful energy sources in the universe, the supermassive black hole at the center of their galaxy. A Type 3 civilization would be, for all practical purposes, immortal and omnipotent within their own galaxy. They could reshape spiral arms, create and destroy stars at will, and travel between star systems as easily as we cross a room. Their consciousness might have merged into a single galactic-scale superorganism, a mind as vast as the galaxy itself. To us, they would be indistinguishable from gods. Their actions would be so grand in scale and so slow in time that we would likely not even recognize them as the work of intelligence. The structure of a galaxy, the distribution of its stars, the very laws of physics within its domain, these might be the result of their engineering. A Type 3 civilization would not need to send us a radio signal. Their existence would be the signal. Their galaxy would be the message. They would be so far beyond us that communication, in any form we can understand, would be impossible. We would be to them as a single bacterium is to us. We exist, we are a form of life, but we are not on a level where a meaningful conversation can take place. The great silence, from this perspective, might be the sound of a universe filled with Type 3 civilizations who have no reason to speak to a fledgling Type 0 species like ourselves. They are these silent cosmic gardeners tending to their galaxies, and we are just one small wild seed that has sprouted in a forgotten corner. Kardashev himself only proposed these 3 types, but other thinkers have extended the scale even further into the realm of pure imagination. A Type 4 civilization would harness the energy of an entire supercluster of galaxies. A Type 5 would command the energy of the entire universe. And beyond that, a Type Omega civilization might be one that has learned to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself, creating new universes and new laws of physics. These are not scientific predictions, but philosophical meditations. They are a way of stretching our own minds, of contemplating the ultimate potential of life and intelligence. The Kardashev scale is a ladder, and we are on the very first rung, looking up into an unimaginable height. But the scale also offers a quiet comfort. It suggests that survival is possible on a cosmic timescale. It offers a vision of a future where life does not just cling to a single fragile planet, but spreads outward, becoming a resilient and enduring part of the cosmos. The silence we hear could be the sound of our own cosmic infancy. The sky is not empty, but filled with a potential we are only just beginning to grasp. As you lie here, feeling the gentle pull of sleep, imagine this great stairway. Imagine the planetary gardeners of Type 1, the star builders of Type 2, and the galactic minds of Type 3. They may be out there living lives of unimaginable complexity and power. And we, on our small blue world, are just taking our first tentative step. The journey is long, the climb is steep, but the stars are waiting. And there is peace in knowing that there is so much room to grow. We have considered that the great silence might be because life is rare, or because it is too alien for us to recognize. But there is a third, more unsettling, and yet strangely peaceful possibility. Perhaps the silence is deliberate. Perhaps the aliens are out there. They are aware of us, and they are choosing for reasons of their own not to make contact. This is the heart of the zoo hypothesis. Imagine a vast, ancient, and wise civilization, or a federation of many such civilizations that has spread throughout the galaxy. They have seen countless young species like ours arise on countless different worlds. They have seen them struggle, evolve, discover fire, invent language, and eventually reach for the stars. And after millennia of experience, they have adopted a policy of non-interference, a prime directive for the cosmos. In this scenario, Earth is not a lonely island, but a protected nature preserve. We are the wildlife. They are the silent observers watching us from a respectful distance. They do not contact us for the same reason a good zoologist does not step into the enclosure to teach the lions how to build a fire. To interfere would be to contaminate, to disrupt the natural course of our evolution. Our culture, our science, our philosophy, all of it is precious because it is ours, a unique expression of life on this planet. To introduce themselves would be to shatter that uniqueness forever, so they watch. Perhaps they have cloaked probes in our solar system, invisible to our instruments. Perhaps they observe us from the distant Oort cloud. They may have been watching for centuries, seeing our empires rise and fall, our art flourish, our science awaken. They see our struggles, our wars, our triumphs, and our pain. And they remain silent, not out of indifference, but out of a profound respect. They are waiting for us to mature, to solve our own problems, to become a unified planetary species ready to join the galactic community without destroying ourselves or them. The zoo hypothesis turns the Fermi paradox on its head. The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. It is evidence of a deliberate and masterful concealment. The silence in the sky is not an empty silence. It is the sound of a held breath. It is the quiet of the hidden observer. This idea can feel unsettling. To be an exhibit in a cosmic zoo, to be unaware of the eyes upon us, can feel like a loss of agency, but it can also be strangely comforting. It suggests that we are not alone in a cold, indifferent universe. It suggests that there is a larger context, a community that we may one day be invited to join. It implies that we are not a random accident, but a species deemed worthy of protection, of observation. The silence, then, is a sign of our value. A variation on this theme is the laboratory hypothesis. This is a slightly colder, more clinical version of the same idea. In this scenario, we are not just being observed for our own sake. We are part of an experiment. Perhaps our universe, or just our corner of it, was created by a far more advanced intelligence to study the emergence of life, of consciousness, of civilization. They set the initial conditions, the laws of physics, the chemistry of our world, and now they are watching to see what happens. This idea is, of course, impossible to prove or disprove. If the experimenters are sufficiently advanced, they would be undetectable. Their laboratory indistinguishable from a natural universe. Every discovery we make, every law of physics we uncover, would simply be us exploring the parameters of the experiment they designed. Like the zoo hypothesis, this can feel diminishing. It can make our greatest achievements seem like the predictable results of a well-designed test. But it too can offer a strange kind of solace. It suggests that our existence is not meaningless. It is the subject of study. Our struggles, our questions, our search for meaning. All of it is data for a mind far greater than our own. It gives our story a purpose, even if that purpose is not our own. The universe in this view is not a random collection of atoms, but a carefully constructed narrative, and we are its protagonists. There are other, gentler reasons for the silence of the observers. Perhaps they are not zookeepers or scientists, but simply artists. Imagine a civilization so old and so advanced that they no longer have material needs. They have explored the physical universe. They have mastered energy and matter. What is left for them but to create and to observe beauty? They might see the spontaneous evolution of life on a planet like Earth as the most profound and beautiful art form in the cosmos, a self-creating masterpiece that unfolds over billions of years. To interfere would be to smudge the paint on the canvas. To reveal themselves would be to interrupt the performance. So they watch as one might watch a flower slowly unfold its petals, or a sunrise paint colors across a morning sky. They do not judge. They do not interfere. They simply appreciate. The great silence is the quiet reverence of an audience watching a masterpiece come into being. Or perhaps the reason for their silence is more pragmatic and more humble. Perhaps they are simply afraid. Not of us, but for us. They may have seen other young civilizations destroy themselves with their own technology, and they may fear that making contact too early would give us tools or ideas that we are not yet wise enough to handle. Imagine giving a child the secrets to nuclear fusion. The result would likely be catastrophic. An advanced civilization might look at humanity and see a brilliant but volatile child holding a box of cosmic matches. Their silence is a form of quarantine, a way of protecting us from powers we are not yet ready for. They are waiting for us to grow up to demonstrate that we can be trusted with the fire of the gods. And finally, there is the most peaceful thought of all. Perhaps they are silent because they have nothing to say. A civilization that has existed for millions of years may have transcended the need for language, for communication, for interaction as we know it. They may exist in a state of pure being, a timeless, contemplative state that is beyond our comprehension. Their consciousness might be so vast, so serene, that the frantic chatter of a young species like ours is simply irrelevant. They are not ignoring us. They are simply engaged in a deeper, quieter reality. They are the monks of the cosmos, meditating in the silent temples of their own minds. The universe is their monastery, and the silence is their prayer. Each of these theories paints a different picture of the silent sky. A nature preserve, a laboratory, an art gallery, a quarantine, a monastery. But they all share one thing in common. They replace the fear of an empty universe with the wonder of a hidden one. They suggest that the silence is not a void, but a presence, a choice, a purpose. So, as you lie here feeling your own breath, listening to the quiet sounds of your room, you can imagine those other eyes, those other minds, watching, waiting, observing. And in their silent gaze, there is no threat, only a deep, abiding, and patient quiet. The quiet of a universe that knows it is not alone. We have explored the gentle cradles where life might begin, and the quiet observers who might be watching it unfold. But now, let us drift to the very edges of possibility, to the places in the universe that seem so hostile, so utterly impossible that we would never think to look for life there. And yet, it is in these extreme environments that nature's ingenuity might be at its most breathtaking. Life, we are learning, is not as fragile as we once thought. Let us return to the gas giants, to Jupiter and Saturn, with their crushing pressures and turbulent atmospheres. We have imagined life floating in their upper clouds. But what about deeper down? As you descend into Jupiter's atmosphere, the pressure builds to thousands, then millions of times that of Earth. The temperature soars. Hydrogen gas becomes so compressed, it behaves like a liquid metal. It seems like no place for life. But what if life did not need a surface? What if it could be born of pressure itself? Some have theorized that in the dense, hot layers of a gas giant, exotic forms of life could exist. Perhaps beings made of plasma, their thoughts and bodies held together by magnetic fields. They would not be made of cells and molecules, but of swirling patterns of charged particles. They would swim through the metallic hydrogen like fish through water, feeding on the immense energy of the planet's storms. They would be creatures of lightning and pressure, their lives a constant fiery dance in the heart of a giant. We would never see them, never detect them. They would be a form of life so alien, it would border on physics itself. Now let us journey to a place even more extreme, the surface of a neutron star. A neutron star is the collapsed core of a massive star, a sphere the size of a city, but with more mass than our sun. Its gravity is so intense that atoms are crushed into a dense soup of pure neutrons. Its surface is a solid crust of iron, blisteringly hot, and wrapped in a magnetic field 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's. It is one of the most violent places in the universe. And yet some scientists have played with the idea that life could exist even here. It would not be a life of cells. It would be a life of nuclear reactions. The beings on a neutron star, if they existed, might be made of strings of neutrons held together by the strong nuclear force. They would be flat, two-dimensional creatures living on the star's crust. Their metabolism would be 1,000,000 times faster than our own. An entire civilization could rise and fall in the span of a second. Their thoughts would be patterns in the flow of neutrons, their world a landscape of unimaginable gravity and magnetic fury. It is a concept at the very edge of science fiction, but it is a powerful reminder. We assume life needs gentle conditions, but perhaps life is simply that which adapts. And in the most extreme corners of the cosmos, the adaptations might be equally extreme. Let us now drift into the cold emptiness between the stars, into the vast dark clouds of gas and dust, known as interstellar nebula. These clouds are the birthplaces of stars and planets, but they are also incredibly cold and diffuse. The density of matter is far less than the best vacuum we can create on Earth. And yet they are rich with organic molecules, alcohols, sugars, the building blocks of amino acids. Could life exist here, not on a planet, but in the cloud itself? Imagine a being made not of solid matter, but of dust and gas, held together by its own faint gravity and electrostatic forces. A vast, slow-thinking cloud. Its body would be light years across. Its thoughts would be the slow swirl of dust grains, the gentle chemical reactions happening over millions of years. It would feed on the light of distant stars and the cosmic rays that pass through it. It would be a creature as large as a solar system, but as ethereal as a ghost. Its consciousness would be so slow, so distributed, that we would never recognize it as a mind. We would simply see a beautiful, swirling nebula and admire its colors, never knowing that we were looking at a living, thinking being. The universe could be filled with these gentle, silent giants, the patient, cloud-like minds of the cosmos. And what of the very fabric of space-time itself? We think of life as something that happens in the universe. But what if life is the universe? This is a philosophical idea, but one that some physicists have touched upon. Perhaps consciousness is not an emergent property of complex matter, but a fundamental property of reality. In this view, every particle, every quantum field has a tiny spark of awareness. And the universe as a whole, in its grand interconnected dance of energy and matter, possesses a form of consciousness. This would not be a mind that thinks in words or images, but a mind whose thoughts are the laws of physics themselves. The formation of a galaxy would be an idea. The collapse of a star would be a feeling. The expansion of space would be its breath. In this scenario, we are not separate from the universe looking out at it. We are a part of it, a momentary eddy in the great cosmic river of awareness. We are the universe dreaming of itself. These are the frontiers of imagination. Life in the hearts of storms, life on the skin of dead stars, life as a cloud between galaxies, life as the universe itself. Each of these theories gently dissolves the boundaries of what we think is possible. They take the concept of life and stretch it until it becomes as vast and as mysterious as the cosmos itself. They also offer a profound sense of peace. The universe may not be filled with creatures like us. It may not be filled with civilizations we can talk to, but it may be filled with life in 1,000 other forms, 1,000 other songs. The fact that a place seems hostile to us does not mean it is lifeless. It may simply be alive, in a way we have not yet learned to see. So as your mind grows quieter and the world of your room fades away, let yourself imagine these strange, extreme forms of life. The plasma beings of Jupiter, the nuclear creatures of a neutron star, the great slow minds of the nebulae. They are not monsters to be feared. They are possibilities to be wondered at. They are the quiet, creative, and endlessly surprising expressions of a universe that is far more alive than we can ever truly know. We have journeyed through space, imagining the strange places life might call home, and the wondrous forms it might take. Now, let us drift through a different landscape, one that is invisible and yet governs everything, the landscape of time. Our own experience of time feels constant, a steady river carrying us from past to future, 1 second at a time. But Einstein's theory of relativity taught us that time is not a universal clock. It is fluid, malleable, and deeply personal. It can stretch and shrink depending on gravity and speed. And this simple, profound truth opens up a universe of possibilities for how an alien civilization might experience existence. Let us imagine a planet orbiting not a gentle star like our sun, but a supermassive black hole. For life to exist there, it would need to be in a stable, distant orbit, perhaps warmed by the faint glow of the black hole's accretion disk or the cosmic microwave background. To the inhabitants of this world, their lives would feel perfectly normal. A day would pass, a year would turn. They would build, they would love, they would dream. But from our perspective, their time would be moving in slow motion. This is the effect of gravitational time dilation. The immense gravity of the black hole would warp space-time around it, causing time itself to flow more slowly. A single hour on their world might be 1,000 years for the rest of the universe. A civilization that arose there could watch galaxies be born and die in what feels to them like a single lifetime. They would be the historians of the cosmos, living in the slow, deep heart of a gravitational well. If they were to send a message to us, it would arrive compressed 1,000 years of their history, contained in a single hour of our time. And if we were to send a message back, it would take millennia to unfold for them. A conversation would be impossible. They would be like beings living in a different river of time flowing parallel to ours, but at an entirely different speed. They would be the quiet, patient elders of the universe, watching the frantic dance of the galaxies from their slow, timeless home. Now, let us imagine the opposite. A civilization that lives not in a place of strong gravity, but in the vast, empty void between galaxies. Here, gravity is weaker than almost anywhere else in the universe. Time would flow faster. 1,000,000 years for them might be only a few 100,000 for us. They would be a civilization living in fast forward, their history unfolding at a breathless pace. But what if a civilization could choose its own timeline? A sufficiently advanced spacefaring species might learn to manipulate time dilation to their advantage. They might send probes on long journeys close to the speed of light. For the probe, only a few years would pass. For the homeworld, centuries would go by. It would be a way of traveling into the future. They could send out explorers and then simply wait for them to return with news of a galaxy that has aged thousands of years. Or they might choose to live their lives in slow motion, placing their entire civilization in a deep orbit around a black hole, not for observation, but for preservation. If they knew their star was going to die, or that a cosmic catastrophe was coming, they could use time dilation as a form of hibernation. They could wait out the danger in the slow river of time near the black hole, emerging millions of years later into a universe that is healed and changed. They would be time travelers using the laws of physics to step out of the normal flow of cosmic history and then step back in. And what of the experience of time itself? Our consciousness is built on a perception of a linear flow. A past that is gone, a present that is now, and a future that is yet to come. But this may be an illusion, a product of our specific biology. What if a mind could perceive time differently? Imagine a being that experiences all of its life at once. For them, past, present, and future are not a sequence, but a single, timeless landscape. They would not remember the past or anticipate the future. They would simply be in all of it. A moment of joy from their childhood and a moment of sorrow from their old age would be equally present to their consciousness. They would be four-dimensional beings, their awareness stretching across their entire timeline. Such a being would be omniscient about its own life. It would know the moment of its birth and the moment of its death. There would be no surprise, no regret, no hope in the way we know it. Only the serene, unchanging reality of a life seen in its totality. Communicating with such a being would be a profound challenge. How could we speak of choice of change of becoming to a mind that already knows how the story ends? Or perhaps a mind could experience time not as a line, but as a circle. A consciousness that lives the same life over and over, not in a literal physical sense, but in its perception. Each life would be a closed loop, with the end seamlessly connecting back to the beginning. They would not be trapped, but would live in a state of eternal recurrence, each pass through the circle, perhaps offering a new perspective, a new understanding of the same set of moments. Their art and philosophy would be built not on progress, but on depth, on the endless exploration of a single finite existence. And what of a civilization that has learned to edit time, not by traveling through it, but by manipulating the information that defines it? In some interpretations of quantum physics, the past is not fixed, but exists as a wave of probabilities. A sufficiently advanced civilization might be able to reach back and alter those probabilities, not by sending an object back in time, but by subtly nudging the quantum state of the universe. They would not be changing history, but choosing a different history from the many that could have been. Their world would be one of perfectible moments, a reality that could be revised and refined. They would be the editors of their own story, living in a universe where nothing is ever truly final. These are not just fantasies. They are the logical extensions of our own best theories of physics. Relativity and quantum mechanics have shattered our simple, intuitive understanding of time. They have shown us that the now is not universal, that the past may not be fixed, and that the future is not simply a destination. An alien civilization with a different biology and a different history may have developed a relationship with time that is as far from ours as our science is from the myths of the ancient world. They may live in the slow depths of a gravity well, the fast lane of a cosmic void, or the timeless landscape of a four-dimensional mind. The silence we hear from the stars might be in part a problem of timing. We are listening now, but perhaps their message was sent 1,000,000 years ago and passed us by. Or perhaps it will be sent 1,000,000 years from now, and we will not be here to receive it. Or perhaps their message is being sent in a way that unfolds over a timescale so vast that we cannot perceive it as a message at all. The gentle, almost imperceptible drift of a constellation over 1,000,000,000 years that might be a single word in their language. So, as you lie here feeling your own heartbeat, a quiet and steady clock in the darkness, you can let go of your own sense of time. Let the past soften. Let the future fade. And simply be in this moment, this now. And wonder about those other nows, those other timelines unfolding right now across the vast and patient universe. We have journeyed to the furthest reaches of space and time, imagining life in its most exotic forms. But now, let us take a turn inward into a theory so profound and so strange that it questions the very nature of reality itself. What if the universe we perceive, the stars, the galaxies, the planets, even our own bodies and minds, is not the base reality? What if it is a simulation? A vast, intricate, and perfectly rendered program running on a computer of unimaginable power. This is the simulation hypothesis. It is not a new idea. Philosophers have long wondered if the world is an illusion, a dream in the mind of a god. But in the modern era, with the rise of our own computer technology, the idea has taken on a new and scientific flavor. We are already creating our own simulated worlds in video games and research labs. These worlds are becoming more and more realistic every year. It is not difficult to imagine a future civilization thousands or millions of years ahead of us, with the computational power to simulate an entire universe complete with its own physics, its own chemistry, and its own conscious beings. If a civilization could create such a simulation, they would likely create many of them. Perhaps they are running simulations to study the past, creating ancestor simulations to understand their own origins. If that were the case, and they ran millions of such simulations, then the statistical probability is that we are more likely to be one of the countless simulated beings than the single original biological one. We would be historical characters in a story being told by our own descendants. Our lives, our thoughts, our struggles, all would be part of a reconstruction of a past they wish to understand. This idea is both dizzying and strangely comforting. On one hand, it can feel as though it strips our lives of their authenticity. Our choices would not be entirely our own, but would be guided by the parameters of the program. On the other hand, it gives our lives a profound significance. We would be part of a great act of creation, a work of art, or science on a cosmic scale. Our existence would be a gift of memory from a future we can only imagine. But why would a civilization create such a simulation? Perhaps it is not for science, but for entertainment. Our universe could be the ultimate video game, a story unfolding for the amusement of beings in a higher reality. Or perhaps it is a form of art, a self-creating masterpiece whose beauty lies in its complexity and unpredictability. Or maybe the simulation is a form of refuge. A civilization facing the end of their own universe might choose to upload their consciousness into a simulated reality, a digital ark where they can live on forever. We would be the background characters in their eternal afterlife if we are in a simulation. Could we ever know? Scientists have proposed that there might be subtle clues, glitches in the matrix. Perhaps the laws of physics are not perfectly smooth, but are pixelated at the smallest scales, like the resolution of a computer screen. Perhaps there are rounding errors in the calculations of the universe, tiny anomalies that we might one day be able to detect. We have already found strange and unexplained phenomena in our universe, like dark energy or the precise fine-tuning of the physical constants. Could these be artifacts of the simulation's code, the signature of the programmer? It is a question we cannot yet answer. Any simulation designed by a sufficiently advanced intelligence could be made perfectly seamless, indistinguishable from a base reality. But the simulation hypothesis also offers a unique solution to the Fermi paradox, the great silence. Where is everybody? Well, if the universe is a simulation, perhaps the programmers simply chose not to put anyone else in it. Creating one conscious species might be computationally expensive. Or perhaps the purpose of our simulation is to see what happens when a species believes it is alone. The silence would not be a cosmic mystery, but a deliberate feature of the design. Or perhaps the other civilizations are out there, but they are not part of our simulation. They might be other programs running on the same great computer, but in a separate partition, unable to interact with us. The multiverse in this view would be a collection of different software programs, all running on the same cosmic hardware. Let us explore this idea with a gentle sense of wonder, not fear. To imagine that our world is a simulation is not to say that it is not real. Our thoughts are real. Our feelings are real. Our experiences are real. The love we feel for another person, the beauty we see in a sunset, the peace we find in a quiet moment. These are all real parts of our conscious experience, regardless of the ultimate nature of the reality that contains them. A dream is a simulation, but the feelings we have in a dream are perfectly real. The simulation hypothesis invites us to think of the universe as a story with an author. It suggests a layer of intention, of design, of purpose that is absent from a purely random material cosmos. It does not require a god in the traditional sense, only a programmer, an architect, a dreamer in a reality beyond our own. So as you lie here feeling the solidness of the bed beneath you, the gentle weight of the blanket upon you, you can play with this idea. Imagine that these sensations are not the result of atoms and forces, but of information and code. Imagine that the quiet hum of the universe is the sound of a great computer processing a reality of unimaginable complexity. It does not change the beauty of the stars. It does not diminish the warmth of the sun. It simply adds another layer of mystery, another layer of wonder. It suggests that our universe might be the dream of a dreamer, and we, in our small, brief lives, are the characters in that beautiful cosmic dream. And in this moment, as you drift toward your own world of dreams, You are simply stepping from one simulation into another, both of them real in their own way. Both of them a part of the great and mysterious architecture of the mind. Let us now drift back from the realm of digital dreams to the tangible world of biology, but on a scale that is truly cosmic. We have wondered if life is rare, a singular accident on a lonely planet. But what if life is not an accident at all? What if it is a traveler, a seed, drifting on the silent currents of space, planting itself wherever it finds a welcoming shore? This is the theory of panspermia. The word means seeds everywhere, and the idea is as simple as it is profound. It suggests that life did not necessarily begin on Earth. It may have begun somewhere else long ago and traveled to our world as a passenger on an asteroid, a comet, or even a speck of interstellar dust. The basic building blocks of life, amino acids, sugars, the components of DNA, have been found in meteorites that have fallen to Earth. This proves that the ingredients for life are common in our solar system. Panspermia takes this one step further, suggesting that not just the ingredients, but life itself can survive the journey through space. It sounds impossible. The vacuum of space is a harsh environment filled with deadly radiation and extreme temperatures. But we have discovered that some life is astonishingly resilient. Tiny organisms called tardigrades or water bears can survive being frozen, boiled, irradiated, and even exposed to the vacuum of space. Bacterial spores can lie dormant for millions of years, shielded within a rock, waiting for the right conditions to reawaken. Imagine a world billions of years ago that was teeming with microbial life. A massive asteroid strikes this world, blasting fragments of its crust into space. Some of these fragments carry with them a cargo of dormant microbes frozen and protected within the rock. For millennia, these small arcs drift through the solar system. Most are lost, burned up by stars, or forever wandering in the void. But one, by pure chance, finds its way to a young, watery planet called Earth. It streaks through the atmosphere, a fiery messenger, and splashes down into a warm, primordial ocean. The rock cracks open, and the ancient sleeping life within stirs. It finds a new home and begins to grow. In this scenario, we are all aliens. All life on Earth shares a common ancestry, but that ancestry began on another world. This idea does not solve the ultimate mystery of how life began. It simply pushes the origin story to another time and another place. But it does change how we see our connection to the cosmos. It suggests that life is not an isolated phenomenon, but a cosmic one. The galaxy could be a single, vast ecosystem, with life spreading from star system to star system over billions of years. Planets would not be sterile islands, but stepping stones in a great interstellar migration. There are different flavors of this theory. Directed panspermia is the idea that the seeds were sent deliberately. An ancient advanced civilization, perhaps facing its own extinction, might have chosen to seed the galaxy with the building blocks of life, sending out countless probes carrying the genetic code of their world. They would be the cosmic Johnny Appleseeds, planting a legacy that they would never live to see. The message in our DNA that we considered earlier would be a part of this story. They would not just be sending a letter, they would be sending life itself. Our existence would be a gift from a long-vanished civilization, a living monument to their hope and their foresight. Or consider a more recent and more local version. Life may have been exchanged between the planets of our own solar system. We know that Mars was once warmer and wetter. It may have been habitable long before Earth was. It is possible that life began on Mars and was then transported to Earth on a meteorite. If we were to find microbial fossils on Mars, they might not be alien fossils at all. They might be our own distant ancestors. We might all be Martians. The theory of panspermia weaves a beautiful and comforting tapestry. It connects every living thing on Earth to a story that is larger than our own planet. It suggests that we are not a lonely accident, but part of a great cosmic lineage. The spark of life is not a fire that must be lit anew on every world, but a torch that can be passed from one to another, a flame that is carried through the darkness. It also changes how we view the great silence. If life can spread so easily, then the galaxy should be teeming with it. So why is it so quiet? Perhaps the seeds are everywhere, but they only take root in the rarest of conditions. The galaxy could be filled with drifting spores, but most of them land on barren rocks or in the crushing atmospheres of gas giants. A planet like Earth, with its stable climate, its liquid water, its protective magnetic field, might be an exceptionally rare garden in a cosmic desert. Life is everywhere, but habitable worlds are not. Or perhaps the journey is simply too long. The distance between stars is immense. Even a rock traveling at thousands of miles per hour would take millions of years to journey from one solar system to another. Over that time, the slow, steady dose of cosmic radiation might sterilize even the hardiest of spores. Life may be a traveler, but one that rarely survives the journey. Whatever the truth, panspermia invites us to look at the sky with a different kind of wonder. Every meteorite that streaks across the night sky is a potential messenger. Every comet, with its long, graceful tail of ice and dust, is a potential ark. They are the quiet, patient gardeners of the cosmos, carrying with them the potential for new beginnings. So as you lie here on the edge of sleep, you can imagine your own body, not as a product of this world alone, but as the end of a journey that began billions of years ago on a world you have never seen. You are the descendant of a traveler, a survivor, a seed that crossed the void and found a home. The universe is not just the space around you, it is in you. The story of the stars is written in your very cells, and that is a peaceful thought to carry with you into the quiet, silent darkness of your own dreams. We have imagined beings of stone and fire, of cloud and ice. We have pictured minds that are vast and slow, or digital and immortal. But now, let us take one final gentle step beyond the familiar world of matter altogether. What if life, in its most advanced and ultimate form, is not made of atoms at all? What if it can exist as pure energy, as sentient information, or as a being woven into the very fabric of reality? Let us first imagine a being of pure energy. We know from our own physics that energy and matter are two sides of the same coin. A civilization that has mastered this equation might learn to convert their physical bodies, their entire world, into a stable, self-aware pattern of energy. They would be beings of light, of plasma, of pure, organized force. They might live in the heart of a star, their consciousness a complex dance in the solar flares. Or they might live in the vast empty space between galaxies, drawing sustenance from the faint ambient energy of the vacuum itself. They would be ghosts in the universe, invisible to our telescopes. To them, our world of slow, clumsy matter would seem like a prison, a primitive state they left behind eons ago. They would be the next step in evolution, a life form that has become one with the fundamental forces of the universe. The silence in the sky, from this perspective, is the silence of beings who communicate in a language of pure energy we are as yet unable to hear. Now let us imagine a consciousness that is not even energy, but pure information. We have already considered the idea of digital beings. But what if the information did not need a computer to run on? What if the universe itself could act as a computational substrate? Some theories in physics suggest that at its deepest level, reality is made of information. A sufficiently advanced intelligence might learn to manipulate this fundamental layer directly. They could encode their consciousness not into a machine, but into the structure of space-time itself. Their thoughts would be ripples in the quantum foam. Their memories would be stored in the entanglement patterns of distant particles. They would not be in the universe. They would be a part of its operating system. Such a being would be omniscient and omnipresent. To us, their existence would be indistinguishable from the laws of nature, the predictable orbit of a planet, the constant value of the speed of light. These might not be arbitrary rules. They might be the stable, coherent thoughts of a universal mind. We would be living inside their mind, a brief and complex thought, in a consciousness as vast as the universe itself. And what of dimensions? Our own consciousness is bound to a world of 3 spatial dimensions and 1 of time. But some theories of physics, like string theory, propose there may be many more curled up and hidden from our perception. What if life could exist in these higher dimensions? Imagine a being that lives in a 4-dimensional space. Its body would be a hyper-object, something we could never see in its totality. We would only perceive 3-dimensional slices of it appearing and disappearing in our world without explanation. A visit from such a being might be what we would call a miracle, a ghost. But for them, it would be a simple and natural movement. Their consciousness would be equally beyond us. They could perceive a reality that is richer and more complex, seeing past and future as easily as we see left and right. They would be to us as we are to a 2-dimensional drawing on a piece of paper. We can see the entire drawing at once, but the beings in the drawing could never comprehend our existence. Perhaps the universe is teeming with such life living in parallel realities that interpenetrate our own. The great silence would be the result of a profound dimensional separation. We are not alone, but we are living on a different floor of a cosmic apartment building, unaware of the neighbors living just above and below. Each of these theories is a step into the sublime. They are the poetry of physics, the myths of a scientific age. They are not meant to be taken as literal truths, but as gentle expansions of the mind. They ask us to let go of our most basic assumptions that life must be made of matter, that it must live in our dimensions, that it must be separate from the universe it inhabits. These ideas offer a final profound comfort for the silence. The universe is not quiet because it is empty. It is quiet because its greatest wonders are silent. They are the beings of light. We cannot see the informational minds. We cannot comprehend the dimensional travelers we cannot meet. They are not absent. They are simply beyond the horizon of our understanding. And that is a beautiful and peaceful thought. It means the universe is not just bigger than we imagine. It is stranger than we can imagine. It means mystery is not a temporary state, but the fundamental nature of reality. So, as you lie here at the edge of sleep, you can let go of the solid world. Let your thoughts become as light as energy, as fluid as information, and imagine yourself as part of this great, silent, and mysterious cosmic dance. You are not just a body resting in a room. You are a pattern of awareness, a flicker of consciousness in a universe that is filled with wonders, both seen and unseen. We have drifted through theories of hope and wonder, imagining a universe filled with life, even if it is hidden silent or too alien for us to comprehend. But now, let us consider a more cautious, more somber, and in its own way, a deeply peaceful idea. What if the great silence is not a sign of absence, but a sign of wisdom? What if the correct strategy for survival in the cosmos is not to shout, but to whisper, or better yet, to hold one's breath? This is the core of the dark forest hypothesis. It imagines the universe as a dark forest filled with countless hunters. In this forest, every civilization is a potential threat. You do not know the intentions of another being you might encounter. Are they peaceful explorers or are they ruthless conquerors? Because the stakes are existential. The survival of your entire species, you cannot afford to take the risk. Any civilization that reveals its location is vulnerable. Therefore, the only logical strategy for survival is to remain silent, to hide and to eliminate any other civilization that is foolish enough to reveal itself. In this scenario, the universe is not empty. It is filled with civilizations, all of them listening, all of them hiding. The silence in the sky is the tense collective quiet of a forest where every creature is holding perfectly still, trying not to be seen. To send a radio signal into this forest would be like lighting a fire in the middle of the night. It would instantly reveal your position to every hunter in the darkness, and one of them sooner or later would come to extinguish your flame. This is a chilling thought. It paints a picture of a universe that is not friendly, but predatory. It suggests that our own attempts to broadcast our existence were acts of profound childish naivete. We have been shouting into a forest where everyone else knows to be quiet. But let us explore this idea, not with fear, but with a gentle philosophical calm. The dark forest is not a theory of malice. It is a theory of logic. It does not assume that other civilizations are evil. It only assumes that they are rational and that they wish to survive. In a universe with vast distances, trust is impossible to build. Silence is simply the safest choice. If this is true, then the great silence is a sign of intelligence, not absence. The oldest, wisest civilizations are the ones who have learned to be the quietest. They have survived for eons by mastering the art of concealment. They may have technology that makes them completely invisible, their planets cloaked, their energy signatures masked. They would be the silent ghosts of the cosmos, aware of everything but revealing nothing. And what of us? Why have we not been silenced? Perhaps it is because we are not yet a threat. Our radio signals have only been leaking into space for 100 years. They have not traveled very far on a galactic scale. To a civilization thousands of light years away, we are still completely invisible. Or perhaps they see us, but they see that we are still bound to our own planet. They are simply watching, waiting to see if we will learn to be quiet on our own. The dark forest hypothesis offers a strange kind of peace. It gives a reason for the silence that is both logical and complete. The universe is not empty. It is just very, very careful. It is a universe that values survival above all else. It also invites us to a different kind of relationship with the cosmos. It suggests our place is not to be loud, but to be observant. It encourages a sense of humility, a recognition that we are young, and there may be rules to this cosmic game that we do not yet understand. The proper response is not to build bigger transmitters to shout louder, but to build better telescopes to listen more carefully. Let us imagine these silent hunters. They are not monsters. They are simply survivors. They may have art and philosophy and love just as we do. But they have learned a hard lesson over millions of years of existence. The universe is a big place, and you do not know who else is out there. So you stay in your own small corner of the forest, you tend to your own garden, and you do not make a sound. Perhaps some civilizations have found a way around this grim logic, forming alliances through quiet, focused beams of light or neutrinos, impossible for anyone else to intercept. The universe might not be a single dark forest, but an archipelago of illuminated clearings separated by vast expanses of cautious silence. As you lie here in the safety and quiet of your own room, you can think of the universe in this way. It is not an empty stage, but a crowded one where all the actors are hiding in the wings. They are not gone. They are just waiting. The silence is not a void. It is a presence. It is the sound of 1 billion civilizations, all holding their breath, all listening to the same profound and patient quiet. And in that shared silence, there is a strange kind of communion. We are all in this dark forest together. And perhaps the most important thing we can do for now is to be still and to listen. We have wandered through the silence, listening for whispers that may never come. We have imagined the minds and bodies of beings we may never meet. But what if the path to connection is not through a living dialogue, but through the quiet echoes of the past? What if the aliens are gone, but they have left something behind? This is the search for extraterrestrial artifacts, the archaeology of the cosmos. A civilization that has existed for millions of years may not last forever. They may succumb to disaster or the slow entropy of the universe. But their technology, their creations might survive them. Like the pyramids of our own ancient cultures, their artifacts could endure for eons, silent testaments to a mind that once was. What might we look for? The most obvious would be probes sent out long ago to explore the galaxy. An ancient civilization might have sent out millions of self-replicating probes spreading through the stars like a slow, mechanical wave. These probes, sometimes called von Neumann probes, would find a new star system, use local resources to build copies of themselves, and then launch those copies toward new stars. Most of these probes might be silent, their creators long gone, simply following their ancient programming. Finding one in our own solar system would be the greatest archaeological discovery in history. It might be orbiting a distant planet or hiding in the asteroid belt. It would be a ghost in the machine, a piece of technology so old its purpose might be lost. It would be the first and perhaps only handshake we would ever have with another intelligence. Or perhaps the artifacts are not small and hidden, but vast and obvious. We have already considered the idea of a Dyson sphere, a structure built around a star to capture its energy. A civilization might build one and then die out, leaving the great silent sphere to orbit its star for eternity. We would find it not by hearing a signal, but by seeing a shadow, a star that has been wrapped in a technological tomb. They might have left behind even grander projects. A Type 3 civilization might have engineered the stars themselves, arranging them into a pattern that could only be artificial. We would look up at a constellation and see not a random scattering of points, but a deliberate geometric message, a signature written in fire across a canvas 1,000 light years wide. The artifacts might not even be in our galaxy. A truly ancient civilization might have learned to travel between galaxies, building cosmic highways or stable wormholes. These would have long outlasted their creators, and we might detect them by the strange gravitational effects they would have on the space around them. The unexplained movement of a distant galaxy might be the echo of a door that was opened and then closed 1 billion years ago. And what of their worlds? If a civilization dies out on its home planet, what remains? For a few thousand years, their cities might stand as empty ruins. But over millions of years, geology and weather would grind them to dust. Some things might survive. A deep underground library shielded from time. Or perhaps the most durable artifact of all, a change in the planet's atmosphere. We might find a planet with an atmosphere that contains complex artificial pollutants that could only have been created by technology. It would be a smog of ghosts, a chemical signature of a civilization that is no longer there. The search for such artifacts is a patient and quiet one. It is a form of listening not for a voice, but for an echo. It is the hope that even if we are alone now, we were not always alone. The universe may be filled with the beautiful silent ruins of civilizations that came before us. This idea offers a unique kind of peace. It frees us from the urgency of a conversation. We can simply be students, historians, archaeologists. We can learn from their triumphs and their failures. A ruined world would be a cautionary tale. A silent functioning artifact would be a legacy of hope. It also means that the great silence is not a sign of emptiness, but of history. The universe is not a blank slate. It is an ancient place filled with stories that have already been told. We are just the newest arrivals, walking through a museum of cosmic proportions, trying to read the inscriptions on tombs we have not yet learned to recognize. So, as you lie here drifting towards sleep, you can imagine yourself as one of these cosmic archaeologists. You are not looking for a bright living city. You are looking for a single quiet stone that has been carved in a way that nature could not. You are looking for a star that flickers in a way it should not. You are looking for the faint, lingering warmth of a fire that went out long ago. The universe in this light is not a lonely place. It is a haunted place in the most beautiful sense of the word. It is filled with the gentle, silent presence of those who came before. And to find even one of their ghosts would be to know that we are part of a story that is far, far older and far, far grander than our own. We have journeyed far tonight across the silent voids of space and through the strange landscapes of imagination. We have contemplated the great silence, the filters of existence, the myriad forms life could take, and the whispers of civilizations long gone. And now, at the end of our journey, let us drift back home to ourselves and to one final beautiful theory. What if we are not the anomaly? What if we are the point? This is the idea that consciousness is not an accidental byproduct of evolution, but a fundamental and meaningful part of the universe's story. It is the theory that the cosmos, through the slow, patient process of stellar evolution, of planetary formation, of biological adaptation, is waking up. For billions of years, the universe was a magnificent but unconscious machine. Stars burned, galaxies collided, all following the elegant but mindless laws of physics. There were no eyes to see the beauty of a nebula, no minds to wonder at the mystery of it all. The universe was a story with no reader. But then, on at least one small watery world, something extraordinary happened. The atoms that were forged in the hearts of stars arranged themselves into a pattern so complex that it could reflect, it could remember, it could ask questions. Consciousness was born. In that moment, the universe grew eyes. Through us, the cosmos is beginning to look back at itself. When you look up at the night sky, it is not just you, a separate being looking out at a separate universe. It is the universe, through you, becoming aware of its own grandeur. The atoms in your brain, which were once scattered across a dark and empty space, are now contemplating the very stars from which they came. This is a profoundly peaceful and connecting thought. It means our existence is not a small, meaningless accident in a vast and different cosmos. It is a pivotal moment in the universe's own journey of self-discovery. We are the nerve endings of the universe. We are its senses. The awe we feel when we contemplate the scale of a galaxy, the curiosity that drives us to build telescopes, these are not just human feelings. They are the feelings of the universe itself, experiencing its own reality for the first time. This idea also offers a final gentle answer to the great silence. Where is everybody? Perhaps they are simply not awake yet. Perhaps we are the first, or among the first. In the grand history of the cosmos, intelligent life might be a very new phenomenon. The universe has spent most of its time building the stage and setting the scene. And now, the curtain is just beginning to rise. If we are the first, it gives our existence a profound and gentle responsibility. We are the guardians of this first spark of cosmic awareness. The silence in the sky is not a sign of absence, but the quiet of a morning just before the dawn. The chorus has not yet begun, and we are the first voice. But perhaps we are not the first. Perhaps the universe has woken up in many places, and each time a species becomes aware, it contributes to a larger growing cosmic consciousness. We would be like single neurons in a brain that is slowly beginning to wire itself together. The communication would be slow, but it would be happening. In this light, the search for extraterrestrial life is not just a search for others. It is a search for ourselves, for other parts of the same great emerging consciousness. This is where our journey ends for tonight, with this quiet, hopeful thought that the universe is not a dead or a sleeping thing. It is a waking thing, and we are a part of that awakening. So as you lie here on the very edge of sleep, you can feel yourself as part of this grand process. Your own consciousness, with its thoughts, its dreams, its quiet awareness, is a precious and beautiful thing. It is a small, warm light in the vastness of the cosmos. But it is not a separate light. It is the light of the universe itself shining through you. Let the mysteries remain. Let the questions be unanswered. There is no need to solve them tonight. The peace is in the wondering. The comfort is in knowing that you are a part of a story that is grander, more beautiful, and more mysterious than you can ever fully know. You have been a wonderful traveler tonight. Now, let yourself rest. Let the universe continue its silent, magnificent dreaming, and you can join it in your own quiet, peaceful sleep. Good night.